This is the speaking test of the International English Language Testing System taking place on Sunday, 6th March 2025 at English Base Camp Center number ABC007. The candidate is Abdullah Al-Kafi and the candidate number is 2301001. The examiner is Alina Rahman, examiner number 433816. Good morning. My name is Alina Rahman. Can you please tell me your full name?
Ma'am, my full name is Abdullah Al-Kafi, but you can call me Kafi.
Okay. Can I see your identification, please?
Sure, ma'am. There it is.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Now, in the first part of the test, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. First, I would like to ask some questions about your family. Do you have a large or small family?
I have a large family. Like I have 3 elder sisters, and in my family, there's my father, my mother. They're still alive, and I'm the youngest son of my family, my dad.
Okay. How much time do you spend with members of your family?
It's like being very honest. I'm a family person, and I like to spend much more time with my family. And after all, if you're in need of any kind of help, your family is gonna stay forward for you from the beginning. So it's like it is my family whom I give too much value.
What sorts of things do you like to do together?
It's like we like to do hangouts together outside of our house, and sometimes we like to do hangouts in our house. It's like whenever our cousins are coming and all of my elder sisters, me, and everyone's there. So it's like a joyful memory over there, which we like most to enjoy together with family members.
All right. Now let's move on to talk about food. What kind of food do you like?
Being very honest, I prefer healthy foods, and I'm a pretty health conscious person. And previously, I was an athletic person. Like just because of an accident, I couldn't even compete in rackets. But nowadays, like I'm still doing my best to be fit. So it's like if I'm looking forward to consume something, I just have the healthiest thing like salads. And if it is protein, only protein, but no fats, like no cheese, no burgers, no fast food items.
Okay. What are some of the typical foods in your country?
If we consider typical food in our country, is like that would be let's say rice, fish. These are the things in our country is very much available and therefore cheaper. So these are the like rice and fish. These are the thing which we call typical food in our country dishes.
Okay. In your country, do men or women have the main responsibility for cooking?
Being very honest, in our country, women take the responsibility for the household work and cooking also. And you know what? I would like to share a story from my own family. My father, it's like if my mom is not cooking, he does not eat the food. He's like, I'm not gonna take it. As long as my wife is cooking it for me, I will be having it, or else I don't.
Let's talk about where you live. Tell me about the house or apartment you live in.
Okay, I live in the house and apartment which I live. We own it, and it is a 5-story building, and we live in the 2nd floor.
Okay.
And
what are some of the bad things about living there?
the bad thing or the worst thing was the traffic jam. As we know that Dhaka city is like it's not the best city for traveling in a faster way, and from my area to base camp it took me more than an hour, but in what it was only 2 to 3 kilometers. So it's like if you're the person who's having the average speed of 3 kilometers in a city, it is worse, and that's what I'm facing about.
All right. What kind of place would you like to have in the future?
It's like what kind of place I would like to have. I would like to move on in the future.
Yeah.
Being very honest, it is all about the standard of living, where I'm gonna have less traffic jam, and where I'll be having all of my rights, a place where people will be spreading kindness. I would like to move on to such a place like that.
All right. Now I'm going to give you a topic and I would like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you will have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you can make notes if you wish to. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Okay, here's some paper and a pencil to make notes.
Thank you so much.
And here is your topic. I would like you to describe something you own, which is very important to you.
Okay.
Okay, your time is up. You may start speaking now.
There are many teachers who has motivated me in terms of education, and I would like to say that I was never an attentive student and I was never too much committed on my studies. But after meeting these teachers, they taught me the purpose of being educated, and they helped me very much to be serious on the education. And I would like to mention a name, which is 𝐁𝐚𝐬𝐞 sir. He used to teach me Bangla, which is my mother tongue. And you know what, in that subject, whatever I found out from is he was the most friendly person, and he used to know that how to treat a student. As long as a student is like having hard time, as there are students who cannot get things where if the teacher asks them what you can get, they can't even tell them. But that teacher, he was like, if you cannot specify the problem of yours, he'll figure it out by himself, and he's gonna come up with a feasible solution. So that's why, and you know what, we have had an event, we after each and every single end of each and every single year, it's like we used to hang out together, and whenever I get back to my hometown, most of the time we used to have bike rides together. That's what reminds me of him.
Okay. Do other people you know remember this teacher?
Yes, I do remember other people as like a friend of mine. His name is Tamim. He also reminds our 𝐁𝐚𝐬𝐞 sir, because it's like he also think of 𝐁𝐚𝐬𝐞 sir, being very honest, because it's like, you know what, he was the student who couldn't even get passed in his HSC exam in the subject Bangla. But it was 𝐁𝐚𝐬𝐞 sir who was like who was grooming him since the beginning after hearing that he couldn't even pass the exam. And he did everything, like each and every single thing to do him to make him pass. So it's like whenever we meet, I mean, often tell me about 𝐁𝐚𝐬𝐞 sir, that could you meet him, or is there any way we can hang out together like the way we used to hang out together? And I was like, we are being very much busy with our jobs and everything, but if it is possible to make a time, surely we will do it.
Okay. Do you still see this teacher?
Yes, I often see this teacher, and even I call him most of the time. And whenever it's like I get to my hometown, we usually meet. But you know what? If I'm not getting to my hometown, I sometimes I give him video call. It's like, hey, how are you doing, sir? Is everything good? How's your health? This, that. We have a good conversation, a healthy one.
Okay. We have been talking about a teacher who has influenced you in your education, and I would now like to ask you some questions related to this. First, we will look at developments in education. Has education in your country changed in the last 10 years?
And being very honest, since the beginning, because it's like I'm a graduate, so it's like I have been studying more than 10 years in my country. So it's like I know what was the scenario before 10 years and what's the scenario today after 10 years. I think nothing has changed a lot in our country in terms of education, or the policy they're giving, the way they're going. It's like, you know what, our country is like lacks of the university, you say, or the school, you say, there are lackings of practical education. Like they're only concerned about the knowledge on books, but they're not even interested to show you practically how you're going to implement it in your life, and what are the consequences. None is showed by practically in the university, you say, or in the schools, you say. So it's like I'm gonna say nothing has changed over the last 10 years.
All right. What changes do you think will happen in the future?
Okay, it's like being very honest, I would like to tell you about the current scenario in our country, because a new government has taken over, and they have come up with a revolutionary vision in our country in terms of education. They are like looking forward to educate people in a practical way, and they're like giving you lots of privileges. And you know what, it is pretty hard from my country to go for higher education in abroad, but they're like making it more flexible nowadays. and they are making the students very much worthy to compete with the international students. So they have come up with this kind of proposal. So I hope it's going to be good for our country in future.
What changes would you recommend to improve the education system?
The changes which I recommend to improve the education system, which I have previously mentioned, is practical education. It's like practical. If you are giving the practical knowledge to someone, he can implement it in his job life, in his business life, if he is a businessman, or if he want to be an entrepreneurship, then it's gonna be helpful for him. And if I say what else, is like, the university, you say, or the educational institution has to put more pressure on their teachers. Like, the nowadays teachers, they're like suggesting people to get to themselves, like for private tuitions. These are not good. If teachers are having this kind of mentality, then they won't gonna give you the proper education in the classroom. They'll call you to meet in private and they'll be teaching you over there. So it's like these kind of things has to be stopped in our country.
All right. Now let's look at the national education system. How do the ambitions of current school leavers compare with those of the previous generation?
Okay, ma'am, the current, it is the difference between the current school leavers and the people, those who have left the schools previously,
Yes,
right?
that is correct.
Okay, so it's like there were times after getting over with the school, people used to look for jobs, like not for jobs, like how to get into a good college, how to get into a good university. They used to prepare themselves a bit to take admission in a good university. But nowadays, what I can see, these kids, those who are about to leave their schools, they are very much mobile oriented, phone oriented. They are not concerned about their upcoming life, how to get into a good university, how to take the preparations. All they know is like, how to do good Facebooking, how to become famous, how to do online gaming. These are the things which nowadays school students are very much familiar of. But previously, I would say the generation was far better than this generation.
All right. What role do you think extracurricular activities play in education?
The extracurricular activities plays a vital role in an educational institution, or it's like, if I tell you, if I give you an example about me, I was a volunteer in many event in my university. So it's like over there, I learned how to manage the time management, and how to take the orders and how to implement it. And not only that, it's like it's gonna make you more proactive, and it will make you prepare for your upcoming life. So it's like it is very important to do extracurricular activities in an educational institution or besides your study.
Okay, moving on to the last question. What is the role of the school in modern society?
Okay, the role of the school in modern society, it's like nowadays people are like, I would say, if you don't give your if a person did not give his child to a school, then he'll be like, hey, what others gonna say, my child is not going to the school, this, that. But the main purpose has to be how to educate them, in terms of social life, how to educate them while they are talking to their elders. Not only the lessons they are getting from their books, they have to educate them how to be a social person, how you gonna talk with how you gonna talk, or how you gonna communicate with the older one, how you gonna communicate with a younger one. So these are the things which has to be improved in terms of schools. They have to give this kind of education to a kid, those who are going to school.
Okay, thank you very much. That is the end of the speaking test.